So showcasing Staffordshire's VCSEs is the title of today's event. It's all about voluntary community sector, social enterprise organisations. I'm glad everybody can join me today. Thank you for your time. We're going to hear from lots of great organisations today. We're going to find out a little bit more what is taking place in the community across Staffordshire. This year we really celebrate 10 years of really support, developing, enabling marginalised communities. We're a social enterprise ourselves, a KIC in fact, an organisation that can, will trade and will do business, but at the same time has the community right at the centre of what it does.
Our work of probation is one that we can't do alone. So absolutely, the relationship we have with our people on probation is critical and is one of the key bits around reducing reoffending for that individual. But actually, it doesn't mean we have to be responsible for delivering all of the interventions for that person all of the time. And this is really where our partnerships and our partners and community organisations can come in to support what we're trying to do and provide that richness of experience and diversity that we need.
I'm very conscious, perhaps more this week than ever before, really, because I've had visits with youth offending. I've also had a visit to social enterprise at Burton Albion Community Trust. They're linked to the football club there. Do great work. Just how important it is that we are all there to support young people that are identified as being, probably identified as being troublemakers or difficult at school. They're at risk of being excluded. They possibly have been excluded. Suddenly they're into areas where they're not mixing with their peers. They might be mixing with others that need support. And the next thing you know, they are offenders of the future or more likely to be victims of crime themselves. So I'm very keen where we can to use some, particularly police money, to prevent crime, to prevent offending, to do what we can to reduce reoffending, to work closely with probation. Tony mentioned earlier, we communicate regularly. I have a power to convene criminal justice partners, and we bring them together to discuss justice matters for Staffordshire and Stoke, but also regionally.
Our brand, if you like, of restorative practice fits in any setting, and the focus is on what can we do, how can we draw on restorative practice principles and skills in our day-to-day to improve our relationships and communications with each other, to make work a place that we all want to come, to make work a place where we all feel that we can give of our best, and that and those principles and those relationship skills pass on to the young people that we work with, the parents, the carers that we work with, depending on our setting, the residents in prison settings, those on probation. So that's, I guess, where we've taken restorative practice. And our most recent development took place during the first lockdown, when we had to put on hold all of our training, our face-to-face training, and we've put a lot of our training into really what we like to say, it's very innovative e-learning. So we know that e-learning can be burdensome a lot of the time, and so we tried to sort of rethink what it could look like and how it should be. So our e-learning is full of short, sharp videos and text and interviews and videos in settings showing what this looks like.
Mental health has got to be the biggest kind of priority moving forward. I think young people have suffered over the last couple of years, and we're kind of at a bad place anyway. I think if the mind's kind of right, and is where we've tried to work on over the past couple of years with kind of staff and young people, they can kind of achieve better things. We want to raise aspirations. I think Stoke-on-Trent's very deprived. We work in tough neighbourhoods that kind of get a bad press. So, as I mentioned, we work at times when other services probably don't. We 7 days of the week, we work at weekends, bank holidays. Kids don't kind of have days off, do they? We partner with a lot of organisations like the football clubs, staff's cricket. Football and cricket are our kind of two biggest sports. We also deliver kind of boxing. We've got a massive kind of volunteer program.
I've got a conviction that, you know, a lot of people won't hire people from certain areas and backgrounds. They just want, you know what I mean? Construction's a little bit different. Railway's a little bit different. You know, you got conviction. That's fair. Come on, prove your worth, prove that you can work, and you'll get away. I think like just that support there initially, where I was struggling and didn't really know what to do with myself. I'm trying to do the right thing. I feel like I'm doing the right thing, but I'm also disheartened because I'm getting to the same stage every time. Can I get a nut back? It's affecting my confidence. I'm thinking I've done all these qualifications. Like in prison, say, you know, be good, stay out of trouble, get all your qualifications. I've done all that, and I feel like I'm a bit of a disservice to me at the other end. You know what I mean? When I'm actually genuinely trying to change.
And so, and where are you at today? What, you know, because like I said, we can see the fact that, you know, you're working for HS2. So tell us a little about what's happening for you right now.
Yeah, fast forward a couple of months or like a year, I started on HS2 in September. I got a job as a traffic marshal. I then went to a weighbridge operator, and then I got promoted at the end of the year to a supervisor.
Ride Out started in the late 90s, originally as a partnership between myself and a colleague, and that was specifically delivering work at Swinfen Hall, working with long-term young offenders, and that was very much a time when the prison service there was a lot of cognitive skills courses going on, a lot of ETS programs and various other cognitive based programs. And so what we did was that we worked with prisoners that had been through those programs and used drama as a way to try and assess how well they'd internalized some of the skills. And the work kind of evolved from there really to sometimes a little bit more experimental arts projects.
I led a workshop this week on people's future, and of the 7 people in the room, you've got a guitarist, you've got somebody who's straight, he's spent years in and out of prison, and he wants to be a florist. That's what he wants to do, but he doesn't know how to get from where he's been to there. So we're looking at how do you work with people to kind of build smart plans with them that they own, that then move them into where they want to be. So that's the main focus of the charity really, is to look at kind of education, training, qualifications, but supporting people to access those rather than just pointing them in a direction. So partnerships is so key for us, so key, which is why events like this are great to be invited to. So thank you for that.
We're not in a building where everyone points at it and goes, oh, that's where the homeless people live. It's everybody just lives in a normal house on a normal street. So it might be a terrace house here, it might be a flat in a block or in a little estate over there. You get one house on a street, so you don't get any of those problems that people get when everyone's clumped together. It really gives people the chance to be in the kind of situations they're going to be in when they get rehoused permanently. So that's great. We've got about 600 units in a dozen local authorities. Most of it is shared, almost all of it's shared. In Staffordshire, 160 people last year were helped. And we've got properties in the towns.
We're a Staffordshire-based registered charity. Been working in Staffordshire for donkey's years. Predates my employment with them, which has now been about 11 or 12 years. We've got a trustee board made up of all sorts of experts about who know things about hate crime, equality and diversity. I think between us we've got over 60 years worth of experience of that sort of arena that we work in, and we work across, well, nationwide really. We've been focused in the West Midlands most recently, but we're not going to allow geography to bind us to specific areas. As I said, now our focus really is to sort of proactively challenge hate crime. It's no longer just about reacting when we get reports, and we do that in 4 different ways: the education, training, awareness, and through consultancy.
We're not a statutory service, we're not a prescriber, but we're not against anything like that. We support people to get to where they want to be. It's all done through lived experience. We're not counsellors, we're not therapists, but we're experts by our experience, like anyone is, for active addiction, but now in recovery as well.
What we're about is having really high aspirations for people in prison. We know that even though lots of people have had really negative experiences of education, that often belies a real intellect and ability. And so what we want to, our long-term goal is that we want to achieve really meaningful careers for people who have been to prison. So we want to help people to overcome the stigma that we know prison leavers often experience.
At A Vision, what we do is we ignite self-belief, we increase mental health resilience, and we inspire people to achieve sustainable employment and entrepreneurship. We work in the estate, so in prisons, through the gate, and in the community as well. And we really believe that everybody has the ability to achieve success regardless of their past.